In this lab, we are going to create a Power Automate cloud flow, and this flow will allow a user to authorize the purchase, for example, of an item of equipment that was originally raised using the Power app. So to that end, the steps that we're going to take is to first of all create an approval request flow. Then we're going to change the flow a little bit to add some conditional logic into the flow so that it goes down different paths depending on what the response is. We're going to test the cloud flow to verify that its performance is what we were expecting. And we're also going to make some updates to that flow. And that will allow us to post a message into Teams. So let's move over to Microsoft Office and start on exercise 1, creating the approval request flow. Now there are a number of routes that we could take to build this flow. We're actually going to go via Power Apps in order to do so. So we're going to move into Power Apps. And we're going to be a little bit careful at this stage to decide on the environment that we want to use. Now, because in this case, I want to make sure that both of my users have got access to the environment in which the flow lives, I'm actually going to put it into the default environment, but you could put this into your personal developer environment. I'm going to move over to flows. And here I can see lots of flows that I've created in the past. I'm going to select new flow, and we are going to do an automated cloud flow because we're going to be listening to what is happening in SharePoint. Now in this case, we're going to look at when an item is created, I think where it is created in SharePoint. So if I look for the triggers and type in SharePoint, I can specifically see the option for when an item is created. So I click on that one there, and in fact we need to give this flow a name. And we're going to call this one New Device Order Request and click Create. The next thing I'll do is I will actually go and look for the site. Now I know that I put this into my Learn site. If I hit the drop down, I can go and select that from here. And then I need to tell it the list that I want to use. Device order _SP. By this stage we've done tasks 1 and 2, and we're now moving on to task 3, which is add an action to send an approval request. So what we need to do is we need to click on a new step, and we can just search by using approval. And what we'll do is we'll start and wait for an approval. We need to tell it the type of approval we want to do. And we'll use an approve, reject, and first to respond. Essentially what that means is if many people have been asked to respond to it and one person responds, that's absolutely fine. So it's first to respond. And now we need to start configuring the message that the approver will receive. So we'll click on title, new device order request for. And what we'll do is we can now start to use some of the details in here. In fact, they want us to put device name in here. And in this case, I'm actually going to hard code the approver to be myself. Then we'll expand the advanced options and put the email of the person requesting it. And what it'll be is the created by email in this case. So you can either select the item, or you should be able to drag it in. Yeah, just select the item and it will go into the location that you've selected. What we'll now do is configure the details that we have here. So we'll say a new device has been requested. And then we'll say device name. And we'll put in the price. And you may notice that in the instructions you'll see there's a need to put in comments. We don't have any comments, we don't have a field for comments, but if we did, we could leverage that field. That now brings us to the end of exercise 1. I'm actually going to click the save button there. And that takes us to the end of exercise 1.